about to finish up. And Moses rose and went to Dathan and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spoke to the congregation, saying, Depart, please, from the tents of these. Oh, depart, please, from the tents of those wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest you be swept away with all their sins. So they got away from the dwelling of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Dathan and Abiram came out and stood at the door of their tents, together with their wives, their sons, and their little ones. And Moses said, Hereby you shall know that the Lord has sent me to do all these works, and that it has not been of my own accord. If these men die, as all men die, if they are visited by the fate of all mankind, then the Lord has not sent me. But if the Lord creates something new, and the ground opens its mouth and swallows them with all that belongs to them, and they go down alive into Sheol, then you shall know that these men have despised the Lord. And as soon as he had finished speaking all these words, the ground under them split apart, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them up, and the households and all the people who belonged to Korah and all their goods. So they and all that belonged to them went down alive into Sheol, and the earth closed over them, and they perished from the midst of the assembly. And all the people of Israel who were around them fled at their cry, for they said, Lest the earth swallows us up. They're like, let me get up out of here. And the fire came out from the Lord and consumed 250 men offering an incense. Well, they warned you. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Tell Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, to take up the censer out of the blaze. Then scatter the fire far and wide, for they have become holy. As for the censers of these men who have sinned at the cost of their lives, let them be made into hammered plates as a covering for the altar. For they offered them before the Lord, and they became holy. Thus they shall be a sign to the people of Israel. So Eleazar, the priest, took the bronze censers which those who burned had offered, and they had hammered out as a covering for the altar, to be a reminder to the people of Israel, so that no outsider who is not of the descendants of Aaron shall draw near to burn incense before the Lord, lest he become like Korah and his company, as the Lord said to Moses, or through Moses. Said to him through Moses. But on the next day, all the congregation of the people of Israel grumbled against Moses and Aaron, saying, You have killed the people of the Lord. These people are so blind. I'm sorry. At some point, we gotta be like, okay, No, he did not. He said, if they die by natural causes, then the Lord didn't send me. But if the Lord do something, outstanding, and the earth swallows them up, then the Lord has sent me. And they talking about something, you killed them. So y'all think Moses opened up the ground and consumed those people? He don't have that much power. The Lord has the power. Jesus. If I'm understanding this right. These people. Like, I empathize or sympathize with them. But at some point, I'm like, dude. And it makes me wonder, where in my life am I this foolish? Because this is straight foolishness. Buffoonery. I don't even know what that means, I'm gonna be honest. And when the congregation had assembled against Moses and against Aaron, they turned toward the tent of meeting, and behold, the cloud covered it. And the glory of the Lord appeared, and Moses and Aaron came to the front of the tent of meeting. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, get away from the midst of the congregation, that I may consume them in a moment. Yep. That's exactly what needs to happen. That's exactly what needs to happen. Yep. That's exactly what needs to happen. And they fell on their faces, and Moses said to Aaron, take your censer and put fire on it from off the altar, and lay incense on it, and carry it quickly to the congregation and make atonement for them. Oh, wow. I'm over here like, yep. And and Moses is like, oh, Lord, please forgive them. Please forgive them. Wow. For wrath has gone out from the Lord. The plague has begun. So Aaron took it to Moses and ran in the midst of the assembly. And behold, the plague had already begun among the people. The Lord is like, you can't save everybody. You can't save everybody. I feel like that's what needed to happen, because they're not going to stop with their unbelief. They're not going to stop. No matter how much atonement you make. At that point, you're taking advantage of the atonement. And I understand Moses is trying to look out for his people, and he just want to do what's right. But sometimes what's right is letting things go. Letting people be consumed in their own fire that they make. You can't run and take out their fire every single time. Extinguish their fire. That's what I meant. Moses tries to help, but like Moses is low-key, and this is just my perspective, Moses is low-key holding himself back and holding the people back by trying to make atonement from them all the time. It don't matter how much atonement that you make, these people are going to sin against the Lord. Because it's in their heart. It's in their heart. It's not a mistake. It's not, them just not knowing. They know who the Lord is. I just put no amount of atonement will make up for their unbelief. It just won't. Okay. Excuse me. And he put the incense and made atonement for the people. And he stood between the dead and the living, and the plague was stopped. Okay. I feel like they all needed to die. That's just how I feel. Now those who died in the plague, and the reason why I feel like they're holding him back. Now those who died in the plague were 14,700. Besides those who died in the affair. Dang. So 14,700 plus, because more died in the affair of Korah, the one who tried to stand up against the Lord, and Aaron, and Moses. And Aaron returned to Moses at the entrance of the tent of meeting when the plague was stopped. Chapter 17. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the people of Israel and get from them staffs, one for each father's house, for all their chiefs according to their father's houses, 12 staffs. Write each man's name on his staff, and write Aaron's name on the staff of Levi. Is Levi the one who died? I think his whole, I think. Okay. For there shall be one staff for the head of each father's house. So I wonder why the Lord chose 12 different, what you call it? For there shall be one staff for the head of each father's house. Then you shall deposit them in the tent of meeting before the testimony, where I meet with you. And the staff of the man whom I choose shall sprout. Thus I will make to cease from me the grumblings of the people of Israel, which they grumble against for each chief, according to their father's house, 12 staff. Thus I will make to cease from me the grumbling. Okay. And the staff of Aaron was among their staffs. And Moses deposited the staffs before the Lord in the tent of testimony. On the next day Moses went into the tent of meeting, the tent of testimony, and behold, the staff of Aaron of the house of Levi had sprouted out forth buds and produced blossoms, and it bore ripe almonds. Then Moses brought out all the staffs from before the Lord and all the people of Israel, and they looked, and each man took his staff. And the Lord said to Moses, put back the staff of Aaron before the testimony, to be kept as a sign, to be kept as a sign of the rebels. For the rebels, that you may make an end of their grumblings against me, lest they die. So you want to complain against the Lord? Okay, well, you can die. Thus did Moses, as the Lord commanded him, so he did. And the people of Israel said to Moses, behold, we perish. We are undone. We are all undone. Everyone who comes near the tabernacle of the Lord shall die. Are we all to perish? Duties of priests and Levites, chapter 18. So the Lord said to Aaron, you and your sons and the fathers of the you and your sons and your father's house with you shall bear iniquity connected to the sanctuary, and you and your sons with all Lord, give me the strength. Give me the strength. This is the last chapter. You and your sons with all you and your sons with you shall bear iniquity connected with your priesthood. And with you bring your brothers also, the tribe of Levi, the tribe of your father, that they may join you and minister to you while you and your sons with you are before the tent of testimony. They shall keep guard over you and over the whole tent, but shall not come near the vessels of the sanctuary or to the altar, lest they and you die. They shall join you. Oh, my light died. It's okay. They shall join you and keep guard over the tent of meeting for all the service of the tent, and no outsider shall come near you. You shall keep guard over the sanctuary and over the altar, that there may never again be wrath of the people of Israel. They are a gift to you, given to the Lord, to do service at the tent of meeting. And you and your sons with you shall guard the priesthood for all that concerns the altar, and that is within the veil. And you shall serve. I give your priesthood as a gift, service of gift. And any outsider who comes near you shall be put to death. Then the Lord spoke to the Lord spoke to Aaron. Oh, wow, that's new. Behold, I have given you charge of the contributions made to me. All the consecrated things of the people of Israel I have given them to you as a portion, and to your sons as a perpetual due. This shall be yours of the holy things reserved from fire, every offering of theirs, every grain offering of theirs, and every sin offering of theirs, and every guilt offering of theirs, which they render to me shall be most holy to you and your sons. In a most holy place shall you eat. Every male may eat with you. It is holy to you. This also is yours, the contribution of their gift, all the wave offerings of the people of Israel. I have given them to you and to your sons and your daughters with you as a perpetual due. Everyone who is clean in your house shall eat. all the best of the oil, and all the best of the wine, and of the grain. The first fruits of what they give to the Lord, I give to you. The first ripe fruits of all that is in their land, which they bring to the Lord, shall be yours. Everyone who is clean in your house may eat it. I wonder why the Lord chose the priests to be favored. Well, I guess that answered my own question. Where am I? Number 14. Every devoted thing in Israel shall be yours. Everything that opens the womb of a flesh, whether men or beasts, which they offer to the Lord, shall be yours. Nevertheless, the firstborn of a man you shall redeem, and the firstborn of unclean animals you shall redeem. And the redemption price, at a month old, you shall redeem them. You shall fix at 5 shekels in silver, according to the shekel of the sanctuary, which is 20 gerahs. But the firstborn of a cow, or the firstborn of a sheep, or the firstborn of a goat, you shall not redeem. They are holy. You shall sprinkle their blood on the altar, and shall burn their fat as a food offering with a pleasing aroma to the Lord. But their flesh shall be yours, as the breast that is waved, and as the right thigh are yours. All the holy contributions that the people of Israel present to the Lord I give to you, and to your sons and daughters with you as a perpetual due. It is a covenant of salt forever before the Lord, for you and your offspring with you. And the Lord said to Aaron, you shall have no inheritance in their land, neither shall you have any portion among them. I am your portion, and your inheritance among the people. So here the Lord is just blessing the priest, who is Aaron. To the Levites I have given every tithe in Israel for an inheritance in return for the service that they do. Their service is a tent of meeting, so that the people of Israel do not come near the tent of meeting, lest they bear sin and die. But the Levites shall do the service of the tent of meeting, and they shall bear their iniquity. It shall be a perpetual statute throughout your generations, and among the people of Israel they shall have no inheritance. For the tithe of the people of Israel, which they present as a contribution to the Lord, I have given to the Levites for an inheritance. Therefore I have said of them that they shall have no inheritance among the people of Israel. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, moreover, you shall speak and say to the Levites, when you take from the people of Israel the tithe that I have given you from them for your inheritance, that you shall present a contribution from it to the Lord, a tithe of the tithe, and your contribution shall be counted to you as though it were the grain of the threshing floor, and as the fullness of the winepress. So you shall also present a contribution to the Lord for all your tithes, which you receive from the people of Israel. And from it you shall give the Lord's contribution to Aaron, the priest. Out of all the gifts to you, you shall present every contribution due to the Lord. From each, its best part is to be dedicated. Therefore you shall say to them, when you have offered from it the best of it, then the rest shall be counted to the Levites as a produce, of the threshing floor, and the produce of the winepress. And you shall eat it in any place with you in your household, for it is your reward in return for the service in the tent of meeting. And you shall bear no sin by reason of it. When you have contributed the best of it, you shall not profane the holy things of the people of Israel, lest you die. Oh. We did it. We are thin. What stood out to me? what really stood out to me was comparing myself to the Israelites and all their complaining and them thinking that they're going to get better. Them comparing their current to their past, not even thinking that there's a future. They think their current is there forever. Let me write that down. That really stood out to me. And also them being cursed for 40 years because of their complaining. It just reminds me, gives me a good reminder that I just need to be faithful and appreciate what the Lord is doing in my life right now. Period, point blank. What also stood out to me is a promise received too soon is not God's promise. Period. His promise had a specific time. Even if it looks like his promise, even if he tells me, okay, you're gonna be a singer. If I go pursue that on my own, without the Lord, I'm like, all right, let me go just do this. If I do that without the Lord, that is not his promise. Another thing that stood out to me is we're inclined to hoard after our own desires. And what is the solution to that? We just don't follow them. So keep his commandments and don't follow your own heart. Dang. Wow, that's crazy, because people tell us to follow our hearts. I always hear that, follow your heart, follow your heart. The Lord is literally telling us, don't follow your heart. Your heart is full of deception, and we're inclined to hoard after it. Don't follow your heart or your own eyes. Wow, that's good right there. And another thing that stood out to me is jealousy always leads to that person dying. So don't be a jealous person. Another thing that really stood out to me is trying to help people who are clearly, there are some people who the Lord wants us to help, of course. But there are some people who, in the process of you or me trying to help them, it's going to slow me down. That's a really good word.